Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Desi Return. Today, we are going to talk about another important topic where we have received quite a few inquiries, and it is about shipping your favorite household items across the world. In this video, we are going to provide a comprehensive guide on how to ship your household items from abroad to India when you decided to move for good. And this video is packed with a lot of tips to help to make your big move as smooth as possible. First, you need to decide what items you need to ship. If you have been living in abroad for a long time, you would have accumulated a lot of stuff. And you need to decide whether you want to ship most of the stuff like kids' toys, electronics, utensils, furniture, clothes, or is it just going to be few boxes? Also, you might want to get few things from abroad when moving to India. This is one of the tedious tasks because you have to decide which one you wanted to sell, donate, buy, or ship. And it is better to start this process 4 to 6 months in advance before your planned move date so that you have enough time to think through which items that you want to ship, because this determines which shipping option that you need when you're moving from abroad to India. So let's dive into these different shipping options that are available when you're moving from abroad to India for good. So there are around 5 different shipping options if I have to categorize them. So the first one is flying with 2 check-in bags. We have had a lot of families who went back to India with 2 check-in bags itself. So they came to abroad with 2 bags and they decided to move back with the same 2 bags. It's ideal for minimalists, and there is not much that you have to do with planning on your physical move. And this is a easy and simple solution. All the stuff travel with you quick and it's easy. If you have few other extra boxes that you need to ship, and one option is to pay for the extra luggage with your airline. So typically airline charges about $50 to $200 for the extra luggage, and the weight limit is up to 50 lb. However, you can also pay for extra weightage, which is up to 70 lb, and that price can change from $100 to $300. So this option could work if you have, let's say, an extra 1 or 2 or 3 bags that you want to take, which is more than the allowed baggage allowance by the airline. But the good thing is things would fly with you, and I think you might have a better with the customs. There is no issue with losing the baggage because it's with the airline and it's tracked along the way. And however, the limitations are the number of bags that you can carry on, based on the airline's restrictions, the weight limitations, which is 50 lb, and also some size limitations, the length, width, height restrictions that are provided by the airline itself. So this could work for someone who has maybe few boxes or few bags that they need to take back home while moving back. So the third option is you have few boxes that you need to take, let's say about 10 boxes or 15 boxes or 5 boxes. And you have flexibility with the time, so it doesn't have to travel with you or come with you. In that case, you can ship these boxes via water. And in those cases, to give an idea, each box up to 50 lb can cost you around approximately $100 to get your items from your place to the destination. And as the number of boxes increases, the price can get a little bit better, but that's just a general range to get an idea about how much it would cost to ship these items. The key thing here is it takes quite a bit of time because you have to ship your boxes from your home to a port facility where they would hold your boxes so that they can get these boxes from different households, and they put everything in a container and then ship the entire container to the destination, which is India. And then from the port, They again have to go to the customs, clear that, and then transfer it to your destination. So this is one of the option that takes the longest, which is typically, few months, let's say, 4 months, 5 months, and so on. What are some of the challenges? I think this would work great if you have few boxes that you need to ship and you are not in a rush to get them. However, there is a chance of losing something because you're mixed with other containers, and you don't have much control for the entire shipment, and it takes the longest of all. So that's the downside of shipping few boxes. But however, that could be the best option if you have more than what the airlines allows and you don't have enough to go to a container. The fourth option is taking a full container. And there are two options, which is 20-feet container or a 40-feet container. After a certain threshold, like the number of boxes that you want to ship, it might make sense to go with the full container, even though you might not take the entire volume. But let's assume that you want to ship, kids' toys, bikes, some furniture, some of the utensils, or some of the stuff that you bought for in the kitchen, right? Like the all-clad, some of these specific things that you might want to buy, TVs, and so on. In that case, the full container might make sense. So, for example, a 20-feet container, again, the price varies, but I'm just trying to give a ballpark so you have an idea. It can cost you anywhere between $5,000 to $7,000 to have the item shipped from your home to the destination. And the one thing that doesn't include is the custom charges that you have to pay at the destination. It includes all the port charges and all the stuff. You definitely check and confirm with your shipping company, but that's a price range. And it takes about 4 to 6 weeks. And the beauty is, like, I think you can put all your stuff, you can lock the container, and you can unlock the container at the destination, so everything is secured and it's not mixed with something else. So, and you have the entire container for you. And so this could be a better option if you have quite a few items that you want to ship, and you want the peace of mind that it's not mixed with something else, and it's locked and you are opening it at the end, and so on. So that's the one option that's available. There is also another option, which is shipping items as a shared container, where you were try to find other families who are shipping from the same city where you are from and going to the same destination. But I would personally avoid it because of certain liabilities, any liability from shipping the prohibited goods, or the transfer of residence rules and the customs that would be applied between the different households. Unless you know the family very well, it's better to avoid it. Either you can go with shipping the boxes by that individual carrier, or go with a full container. Shared container has its own challenges. So this gives a broad overview of the different shipping options that are available when you're shipping goods from abroad to India. Now, let's dive into the different companies and how you go about this process. So now that you understand the different shipping options that you have available based on the shipping volume that you are planning to ship, you can down select to one or two shipping options that you want to move forward. So the next step is to reach out to multiple vendors to get quotes for the shipping option that you have down selected. I think it's better to start this process about 2 to 3 months before, so that you have time to get the quotes, understand the process, and start your actual execution. And typically these vendors also have like an Excel templates that they can provide to help you with how much volume is required for the size of the home, and they're more than happy to help with you all your questions about port charges, any additional services that you might need, like in the packing at your origination, abroad, and so on. So please have these discussions and compare apples to apples, when you get the quotes, making sure it has all the charges that are supposed to be paid, and also understand how their process works, the communication, and so on. So just, I think, to give some names so that you can reach out to them. Some of the common names that we hear are, at least in the US, I will kind of cover from a country perspective. In US, it's universal relocations is one that you typically hear. SFL Worldwide, Gandhi Logistics, Uni Relo is another one. Keep in mind that's different from universal relocations. And you also have DHL. In Canada, I think there is something called TVS Cargo, and there is also called Ocean Freight. And from Europe, one other thing that I heard is called Mr. Move. So there are several companies. So depending on the country where you are moving from, please ask, and you can get like these referrals or the names of the companies you can reach out, and better to reach out to them, get the codes so you can evaluate and make a decision. So after you got the codes from these different vendors, you made a decision. And now let's talk about the execution. So for the items that you are not planning to ship, either you wanted to sell, donate, or discard. So let's talk through some tips on how to do these things. So first one is when you plan to sell the items, people have had good experience selling them on Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Craigslist, yard sale, and so on. This is something that you might want to start 3 to 4 months advance. I mean, start with the items that you don't need till the last day, and kind of accelerating towards the end. And while selling the items, be mindful about certain things. Always better to meet the buyer at public places, at the school place or near the police station or somewhere which is public for the safety purpose. If there are items that are bulky and heavy, I think don't give your residential address, meet them somewhere in the community, and then drive home. And once everything is good, then you can transact. Please use your good judgment when doing a transaction. If it's too good to be true or scam, please avoid. So these are some tips and things that you need to keep in mind when selling your items. As far as donation, you can donate these items at Goodwill centers or some charitable organization within your community or some friends, as well as the items that you want to discard, like especially the items that you use till the end and you want to discard. I think things that worked out, especially like if you have a mattress that you want to discard toward the end or some other items, you can always post in the Craigslist and you can say, hey, item needs to be picked up by day first come first serve, and so on. So that would definitely help in addressing the items that you're not planning to ship to abroad. Yeah, now let's talk about the packing and shipping. So always use the heavy duty boxes that you get from Home Depot or Lowe's. Don't use the one that you get with the shipment because those are not thick walled and they can get damaged when you're shipping across the world. So use the heavy duty boxes. Definitely, I think, the bubble wrap, cling wrap, the items, and make sure they are secure and place them in the boxes. Few tips, please put some linen papers or some mothballs when you're packing the boxes so that, there is a freshness and it can avoid, things when you're shipping across the world on the sea. So that's one aspect. Always number these boxes 1, 2, 3, 4, and you might start packing like, few weeks before your actual ship date, and you might forget the contents of each box. So it's always a good idea to label each box across all the walls of the box so it can be seen, and make notes of what's the contents in the box. So at least on a broad stroke, clothes, kids' toys, books, so that you have an idea of what's there in the box. And make sure you also take a lot of pictures while you're packing. So this could help in 2 ways: the inventory that you maintain about each box. So in case if you can't ship everything or you can't fit everything in a container, or if you decided, hey, at the end I was expecting 10 boxes, now it became 15 boxes or so on. So you can decide, these are the boxes that I want to ship, these are the boxes I don't want to ship, or so on. So this could help you with that. This could also help like when you reach your destination, if you want to keep some boxes in a storage or keeping them in a separate rooms, that could also help. And it also helps like from a customs, insurance, from a carrier that you take. because they need that kind of information to get the insurance. So let's say you're shipping 60 boxes. What are the contents in each box? So they have an idea, and then the insurance for shipping these boxes in the container is charged. So it's a good idea to keep track of it. That would help you from the customs, prioritizing which box to ship if required, and several. So these are tips that you need to keep in mind when you're shipping the items from your place to the abroad. So now let's talk about the items you don't want to ship or you want to ship. So definitely don't ship chocolates, gummies, fish oil, or anything in the containers or on the boxes that go on the sea, because it will be out for a long time with different temperatures, and then they get damaged for sure. Some people prefer to ship TVs. Some people don't. My personal recommendation is if the TV size is more than like 65 inches, it might be worth shipping it, even if you consider the voltage differences and the customs. Again, it's a personal choice. Based on some discussions with some other families, people who have shipped dryers, it might not be a good idea. Even it's an electric dryer, it might not be a good idea. And the robo vacuum cleaner, I think we ship, but I think we don't get much use of it, frankly. And some people, especially the kitchen appliances like the Instapot, the juicers and so on, it's up to you, frankly, because of the voltage conversion and so on. It's at the end personal choice whether you want to ship those or not. But in general, depending on the volume, depending on which option you're going, you can ship the items according to your preference. Now let's talk about the customs and other aspects as we wrap up this topic. So once the items reach your destination port, then you will get notified by the shipping company about the customs process, and they will help out throughout the process. And the first thing is there is something called port of transfer of residence. That is something that would be applicable when you're living abroad for certain years. So this helps from the customs process in terms of getting your used stuff, some exemption in terms of the amount on what they can charge on the goods that you're bringing back home. There is this common inquiry about, do I need to provide my original passport, even if you're shipping the boxes or with the container? Yes, I think the original passport is required. However, I mean, if you live close by, I mean, you can go in person and provide that. So that's how they verify the residency and making sure that you qualify for that transfer of residence option. And in terms of the customs, so typically, I think they focus primarily on the electronics. Even the used electronics, they take the depreciation and they apply the customs duty that you need to pay. So it's better to keep receipts of all the purchases that you have, so that you can show the value at what you paid, and the depreciation for the years that you had, so that they can use that for calculation instead of the calculation that they can take from their own search and so on. So that's one aspect. So in India, with most of the shipping companies, they actually ship it and deliver it inside the house, and into the rooms and so on. So hope this video gives a comprehensive view of all the aspects of the shipping your household items from abroad to India when you're moving for good. And if you like the content, please like and share. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. And looking forward to provide information on additional topics. Thanks.